He's trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
Floyd Mayweather stopped by Shakur Stevenson's training camp ahead of his fight with Teofimo Lopez. He praised Stevenson, calling him the top fighter in his weight division. Mayweather also pledged to share his expertise, helping Shakur sharpen his skills, make further improvements, and reach new levels in his boxing career.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want and make the fights happen.
Shakur Stevenson is fully immersed in his training camp, working on every part of his game ahead of the Teofimo Lopez fight. He focuses on speed, footwork, and defensive skills while fine-tuning combinations and ring strategy. Each session pushes him to the limit, sharpening his reflexes and building endurance. The dedication, discipline, and intensity in camp show that Stevenson is completely committed to performing at his best on fight night.
Yeah, on my way. You just sleep yet? Da-da-da-da-da. Most people know if you wake up, da-da-da. You know, this thing with
Shakur Stevenson is focused on proving himself to anyone who still questions his abilities. Despite his accomplishments, he aims to demonstrate to both critics and fans that he belongs among the sport's elite. Each fight offers an opportunity to quiet doubt and reaffirm his position as one of boxing's top talents.
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like, I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
On the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur Stevenson spoke about his upcoming bout with Teofimo Lopez and confidently addressed his critics. He believes Lopez has never encountered anyone at his level and is certain he will be tested in ways no other opponent has. Stevenson also noted that Lopez would likely struggle against elite fighters like Terence Crawford, suggesting he could be overpowered. While recognizing Lopez's abilities, Shakur made it clear that he doesn't view him at Crawford's level. He also discussed his promotional situation, explaining that although he had considered leaving Matchroom, Eddie Hearn is now involved, providing strong support and organization for this high-profile fight. This underscores how seriously Stevenson approaches both his preparation and the business side of boxing.
I mean, that's their opinion. Like, you know, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not going to say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event. It seems like, I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him. But I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager.
Analysts have thoroughly studied this matchup, examining the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. One key factor is Lopez's difficulty with movement. Although Teofimo is explosive, athletic, and capable of overpowering many opponents with his power, he struggles against fighters who move fluidly and force him to constantly adapt. This becomes especially crucial against Stevenson, whose footwork, timing, and patience allow him to frustrate and control aggressive opponents. Bruce Carrington, a respected boxing analyst, notes that Stevenson's ability to maintain distance, shift angles, and put Lopez in uncomfortable positions could limit Lopez's offensive bursts and leave him open to precise counters. Lopez thrives when he can assert dominance and fight on his terms, but Stevenson presents a challenge unlike many he has faced before. Stevenson's defensive awareness, combined with his ability to measure distance and vary rhythm, reduces Lopez's chances to land clean shots. Analysts agree that Lopez's raw explosiveness alone will not suffice. He must adapt strategically, remain patient, and choose his moments wisely. Any failure to do so could allow Stevenson to control the pace and capitalize on mistakes. The key takeaway: Stevenson's technical mastery may outweigh Lopez's raw athleticism.
Teal is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog, and both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like, Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only time.
Another view points out that Lopez tends to perform at his peak when facing top-tier opponents. His potential adjusts depending on the skill level of the fighter across from him. Against someone like Stevenson, Lopez must operate at his highest capacity, using all of his reflexes, timing, and ring awareness. This matchup isn't just about raw strength or power. It tests mental sharpness and adaptability. Analysts highlight that Lopez can rise to the challenge, but only if he maintains discipline, controls his aggression, and avoids patterns that Stevenson can exploit. In this way, the fight becomes a classic battle of raw talent versus tactical mastery. Stevenson's speed is another critical factor. Observers note that his quickness functions almost like power, as his punches arrive faster than opponents can react, making even minor shots highly effective. The unpredictability of his speed allows him to land clean, decisive punches that disrupt timing. Andes, a seasoned analyst, points out that many fighters fail to anticipate Stevenson's attacks, which can be decisive against Lopez. Combining precision with velocity enables Stevenson to control exchanges, set the rhythm, and capitalize on mistakes, giving him a distinct tactical edge.
Teofimo Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring. But I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". I mean, these are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was a...
Bucinis delivers a strong warning to Teofimo Lopez, emphasizing that Shakur Stevenson is a fighter who should never be taken lightly. Stevenson's speed goes beyond mere quickness. It acts as a weapon. Opponents often fail to anticipate his punches, giving him a natural edge in timing and accuracy. Even small, seemingly insignificant shots can have a major effect because his speed allows them to land cleanly and unexpectedly. Underestimating the combination of Stevenson's speed, skill, and intelligence could prove costly for Lopez, as every punch carries more threat than it appears, making Stevenson a uniquely dangerous force in the ring.
Pick him apart, man. You're gonna pick him apart. And I gotta tell everybody this, what you call him is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all that. Nah. Teofimo can punch and he can box. And like I said, he's real athletic. So, you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, they got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like Moose, he box heavyweights and put the heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then all according how Teo come in, and Teo come at him. He's gonna run into some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now, you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So, could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just, like I said, speed is power. Not them guys, muscle-bound guys come in and they tell me, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact, the punch that you don't see,
knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about for. I mean, then you got to look at this.
Shakur Stevenson stands out from many of his peers because of his strong sense of accountability inside the ring. He approaches every training session and fight with strict discipline, knowing that each decision, movement, and adjustment can impact the outcome. Stevenson takes full ownership of his performance, preparing both physically and mentally to execute his strategy under pressure. This awareness pushes him to constantly refine his skills, correct errors, and adapt to challenges during the fight. His dedication to accountability not only enhances his technique but also builds confidence, making him consistently prepared, strategically sharp, and capable of performing at the highest level against any opponent. Even with Stevenson's technical edge, analysts warn that Lopez should not be underestimated.
Rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But you know, Teo says a lot of crazy things that, you know, a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he just showed him that there's levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur is at. I think this is a great fight. I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's gonna be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm gonna say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's gonna happen is gonna become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm gonna go with Shakur on this one, but you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war. And I think Shakur, he's starting to, get fights that are kind of setting him up for these mega fights, and he'll be...
Timothy Bradley emphasizes that Lopez is both unpredictable and self-assured in his approach. While facing a disciplined and technically skilled fighter like Stevenson will present challenges, Lopez's willingness to take calculated risks and exploit openings makes him a serious threat. His natural power, combined with confidence, means that even a small lapse in Stevenson's defense could quickly shift momentum. This keeps the fight high stakes and unpredictable, despite Stevenson's clear advantage in skill and ring IQ. Lopez's mental focus and past struggles also play a critical role. He has experienced periods of distraction and dips in motivation, at times even contemplating stepping away from boxing. Personal issues and outside pressures have occasionally affected his consistency. However, recent reports indicate he has reconnected with his passion for the sport. Regaining discipline and focus is key for Lopez to compete at his peak against an opponent of Stevenson's caliber. Analysts agree that if he commits fully, he can elevate his performance, but any lingering distractions could be costly in a matchup that demands both physical and mental precision.
Fight for Shakur Stevenson. Nope, it ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? What can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is. Young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters. Okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound that shoot, you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth that it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are. Or I should say good they are. They still got to prove they great, right? But, you know, look, the thing that surprised me about T.O. last night after watching him, man, is that his speed and quickness and how fast he's able to strike. Look, I'm going to tell you where he going. I'm going to tell you where he going. Because I watched a little bit of Shakur last night.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.